And welcome back. Taking a look, I've analyzed things, and of course, we're going to restructure a little bit here in the east. There's not too much to do. First of all, we're going to give William Slim the command of a bunch of our Far East forces, and we're going to create a new Far East theater. Better yet, we'll just call it the Pacific. Of course, that will probably include India too, but right now, that's what we're going with, and we currently do not have a overall field marshal for this. So you know what? For now, who are we going to promote?
Ready.
I know Slim was a very famous general over here. Maybe if we just promote Slim. Let's take a look at his stats here. 3355. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. Okay, we'll give Slim the promotion here. Okay, so instead of Slim commanding the troops here, Richard O'Connor was using the desert. Let's use a fresh guy here. Politically connected. John Veriker. Okay, so 3343. Not bad stats. We'll go with that. So he'll be in charge of holding the Pacific. And William Slim. Get you promoted. You're going to take a debuff for a little bit there. That'll be okay. Offensive doctrine? No. Defensive doctrine. We're the British, and we love digging in. We're also going to make it charismatic for now. So he, of course, takes the penalty of all stats -1 for a little bit, but he'll take care of that in a bit. We also want to get some more garrison forces over to at least guard the ports on Malaya.
Yes, sir.
It's not a huge deal, but just kind of a base minimum thing you should do. So we will move these guys over and see who we want to use. We're going to give the trade a day, see if it settles out. And, okay, let's see who we're going to send over. So we're going to give you there. Send you to Kuching.
Ready, sir.
Okay, who else can we send?
Ready.
We'll get a few extra for about 2 divisions over here. And then we'll make a little bit of an Indian command.
Ready.
You guys will be the beginning of the Indian command here. Sailing into Bombay.
Orders.
Also, tell me if you guys that play games like this ever have issues with calling places the historical names instead of the current names. Like, for example, Bombay is the name, but now it goes by Mumbai. We've got, of course, Ceylon, which, we refer to as the country of Sri Lanka. So, let me know if you have that issue, because I definitely do sometimes. I'm not old school enough to be spelling, like, Korea with a C, or anything quite like that, but, Tizard Triumphant, okay. Sorry, Greece, not investing right now. Okay, see, the trade evened it out after 1 day. Okay. Things are looking okay on this front. We've got our fleets here situated. We've got the Asiatic fleet. I'll just call it the Pacific Command. Of course, we'll have the Pacific Battle Fleet. And we'll have the Pacific Submarines. Okay. And then over here, we've got the Indian Command. With our Indian Battle Fleet. With our Indian submarines. So one of the things you want to do generally if you're power gaming, when you know there's an enemy coming, regarding naval combat, is group all your fleets together. and just doom stack it. They've tried to do some things to make doom stacking less effective, and it's still probably the most viable thing. Regarding our choices here. Tip of the spear. Marines, paratroopers. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then over here, probably the most British one is maybe efficient communications, I think. See, decisive battle, not quite. The British were definitely practicing fleet and being, so decisive battle isn't quite right. So we're not going to give that. So the one thing we've kind of not started doing at all is a strategic bombing campaign on Germany, and I think we should do that. Of course, we could change our air advisor. That might be good, but we'll take a look at that. I'm gonna knock down the speed to 2 while we analyze a few things, just so the game's going. But I've got time to stop and consider what's going on. Okay, you guys are good to go. Go there. Okay. Mediterranean subs. Looks like they're nice and massacred. Go home and repair. Okay. You go home and repair. Okay, all of you guys just need to go repair. And then I don't think we've got a radar station at Gibraltar. So we're going to work on that. What are our airfields like at Gibraltar also? Bounce them up twice. And you get some naval bombers over there. Okay, they're just coming in trying to bomb us. Not much going on there. We do need to station some more fighter planes over there to make sure we're interrupting. And the Germans are still skirmishing with us over there, despite the fact they're losing. So we'll take that. Okay, you guys need to be training. This is a reminder, we're absolutely pumping out the planes, making about 13.2 Spitfires a day, so that'll be quite nice. You know what? We're going to start doing our Amtraks. There we go. 3 destroyers down. So for some reason, they like having the Kriegsmarine main battle fleet over there, and we'll keep going after them while they do that. Okay, free factory. Now I gotta consider what we want to be doing here. Medium tanks is never exactly a bad call. We're doing okay on Bren carriers. Right now, we just need kind of more of everything. I don't think there's anything in particular we're not producing that we really need. After we get the 1940 tanks here, we probably will start producing our, oh goodness, what are they called? Our self-propelled guns and things like that. But until that point, I don't think. So, you know, let's just set up another tank line so it's very flexible to switch it into something else in the future. Then eventually, actually, we'll probably do that, and then we'll start doing other bombing planes of various kinds here, even though we're way behind. And you know what? We'll spend off. We're not going to be daytime bombers. The British were nighttime bombers, so that's what we'll be doing for our run on Berlin? Did you know? Okay, we were able just to go through that quite quickly. We'll keep some around for the plane designs when they come up next. Okay, US needs some more aluminum, thank you. Working on those. Yugoslav war has broken out. So historically what happened, and you saw a bit of this in the event, where Britain basically kind of interceded, got in touch with the Yugoslavs. Yugoslavia originally signed the Tripartite Pact. There was the coup, and then suddenly Yugoslavia flipped from pro-German to anti-German, and then Germany invaded shortly afterwards. Okay. So that's what's going on over there.
Ready, sir!
Assigned divisions. Okay, let's take a look at our tank divisions and see if they need to be modified at all. So right now, we'll keep them as the same. We could throw some artillery in there for a little extra punch. Which might not be a bad idea, actually. It's going to lower organization, though. And we'll keep them out for now.
Ready, sir!
Those tanks are training.
Yes, sir!
And you guys should be training as well. Wow. Your experience is downright horrific. It also happens when you start with a very small tank group and then keep adding. Okay, you'll also train. So basically we're, long-term preparing our invasion force here. Send those fleets out. Put them on our Atlantic convoy defense. Better yet, we'll give it a name more suiting. There. Ah, yes, the infamous Belgian leader. That guy. Yeah. We'll see. I might try a playthrough as a government in exile, like France, and see if it's actually interesting. I know they try to do it. I've always kind of teased the idea of doing it, but to me it would be very similar to like a Netherlands playthrough, a historical Netherlands playthrough, like a historical Canada playthrough, when you play as a miner. Yes, you can do it historical, but the reality is if you're playing historically, you're not doing much, which I just don't think is going to be that entertaining. And also, I don't think it'll be that much fun to play, because I've tried, like, a historical Canada playthrough, and it's always kind of like, I'm here, but I'm not doing much, So, we'll see. The next few techs will all be aircraft and some better armor. Well, let's see how Yugoslavia is doing. Not great. Here comes Germany. Kind of conquer everything.
Yes, sir!
Okay. Got better quality tanks now. Still training up.
All in! Orders!
Auchinleck's here. Neil Ritchie, you're sick, but you're the one with the real African
Yes,
command,
sir.
so
Ready, sir!
we're gonna transfer all you guys to Neil Ritchie, which will free up Auchinleck, and I can use him somewhere else when I feel like it. Who's gonna be commanding the tanks in Africa? Oliver Lease. I'm trying to remember any of the names of the historical tank command. I think Neil Ritchie was definitely in Africa, but I don't want to give him command of the tanks, because the way this game works, you want to keep your tanks separate from your infantry, just because your tanks only give skill up points to your generals, or experience in the tank lines to the generals where they've got a majority of the tanks. So if you're mixing and matching like that, it's not going to end well. So we'll give you to Oliver Least, and we'll give you the nice, glorious red color.
Ready!
Okay.
Ready to move!
Ah, yes. Fully decrypted. This is Germans. Okay. Start working on Italy. Oh, Italy, 172 days. Well, that's nice. Are we doing anything here? We're not. So, let's do machine encryption. And we'll take another look at the fighters. Yugoslavia down. Okay. They're going to be lacking range to cover it, but they'll cover at least half of it, so we'll go for it. And you know what? You guys are looking good. Oh yeah, you've pulled a lot of stuff. Okay. Like I mentioned, the goal is just to get the Germans to commit as many fighters as possible against us, because fighters against us are not... we can shoot them out of the sky, then hopefully lessen the amount Russia is having to deal with. Not that I expect it to save Russia, but it should help a little bit, so... it might not be an outright guarantee that the Germans have complete air superiority in Russia, so... okay. Our subs are still going after German convoys there. So like I mentioned, historically I know the Japanese war declaration is coming in 41. Of course it would be December 7th, 1941, but they've tweaked the game, and they've made a gameplay decision. It's probably for the best that Japan will declare earlier, normally around April, sometimes May, something like that. I can't actually see what focus they're doing, so I don't exactly know when they're coming, which is good. But they've also sped it up, just so the US gets in the war earlier, Japan gets in the war earlier. It's not so much... because sometimes the European war can end a little quickly. And if you're in the Far East, you don't want to feel like, well, the war's done. So... okay... because once I research the Amtracs there, the Terrapins, we're going to be producing a lot of those, so we can start doing little things like conquering Sardinia and Corsica. And then eventually, you know, we'll probably do an invasion of Italy first, not because Italy is the best place to invade. In fact, it's not the greatest place to invade. There's a whole lot of mountains, which makes it an absolute slog to try to push up the Italian peninsula. It's much easier to invade in France. One, it's closer to England. Two, there's nice... planes, but we might do that. We'll see. Now, if we're talking naval invasion, we need to make sure to do that landing craft tech I keep talking about and forgetting to do. So we'll do that. Okay. Yeah, look at one of the biggest complaints I have about this game is just units are so incredibly small, and even miners just produce an absolute insane amount of units. Once again, it's a playability decision they made. They want to make it so if you're playing a minor country like Belgium, you know, you can produce more than like 8 divisions, but because of that one, it actually taxes the game and slows it down a bit. And to not the most historical, having, you know, little tiny countries absolutely just popping out massive amounts of troops. But there's that. So you know what? We're gonna get some close air support. Start upping that number. And we should get some better close air support too, because that's the 1936 close air support we're still producing, and it's 1941. So let's take a look at the United States, see what they're up to. Pretty small forces, only 67 military factories, 200 civilians. Actually, that means the United States built a good chunk of civilians, because I think they're... maybe that is a normal civilian count for them. No, I take that back. That probably is a normal civilian count. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ah, we got some German tanks here.
Ready, sir.
Well, you're not going to be the Royal Tank Division. It's your division, no longer a regiment, so fix that.
Ready.
And I could rotate some guys off the line, have them train, and bring them back in, but that's asking for trouble. Do we pick tip of the spear? We did. Which actually means we should probably be raising some paratroopers. Didn't even consider that. Okay, here's our paratrooper division. Of course, nothing in it. But it's free to have paratroopers. Make you kind of a normal 3x3 brigade size. Engineer. I think we do cavalry, because otherwise you're going to need to have oil with you. I don't think you want that. You know what? For science, let's try motorized recon, see what happens. Or actually armored recon, we'll see what happens. That might be a good idea, might be a really bad idea, because now they're going to take some fuel usage where before they weren't going to. Let's try it. Okay. Probably work on what? We'll have 3 airborne divisions because we're going to need a boatload of Marines, both the Pacific and for a D-Day. Okay. Oh yeah, let's get that. Let's get those guys transferred. Okay. Okay. You ready? You're definitely not. Okay, you guys look good enough. Okay. Okay, plenty of room there. Seems to have ground down to a halt here. Got the 27th Panzer Division squaring off with the 1st Division of Legre Mécanique from the French, which was, yes, a terrible French accent. Sorry to any French viewers. I'm American. Your language doesn't sound good to me, and it doesn't sound good to you either when we speak each other's tongues. I'm sorry, it's just how that works. What are we short on? Everything's okay there so far. So ideally, we're going to get a bunch of Brens, and then we'll just have a purely mechanized division also. Now, we're not going to form those yet, but when we have that purely mechanized division, we'll be swapping out these armored pieces for instead medium self-propelled guns, medium tank destroyers, and probably some medium AA flak guns. Yeah, we'll give you those. Another German destroyer down. Taking a look at that. Down to 49. At least slowly recovering, but I mean, we just crippled the Italian Navy so early, so they've just not been relevant. Italy's now 100 days on decryption. Let's boost our defensive encryption up.
Fall in.
Still training those tank divisions.
Listen up.
Yeah, nah, you're good. It's one. It's a Yugoslav exile division. So one of the big advantages of the UK is your stability during war is so stinking high from all those events. Eastern Desert. I can get a little bit of oil there. It cost me 60 factories for 3 days. I got 6 oil. I mean, I'm never going to be out of oil, so let's go for it. Alright, excuse me, I'm never going to have just a crazy amount of surplus oil. And I could do women in the workforce. We're not going to do that yet, though, because we're, once again, sitting on a good amount there. So there's no reason to take that stability hit.
Ready.
Okay.
Move out. Move out.
At least be able to form a coherent line.
Come on.
Yeah, I'll defend the ports there.
Listen up.
See if that one lone British division holds in Hong Kong. Historically, I think there was a Canadian brigade, battalions. I don't think it was a full-blown division.
Ready to move.
A lot of garrisons and small overseas colonies were not entire divisions. They would be like a brigade of infantry, or even smaller units sometimes. So we'll keep that historical. Although I don't like their odds of survival, of course. Okay, successfully decrypted that. What else are we looking at? Okay, we're going to really want the mechanized there. Because the big advantage to going into France is we can just outright fly in supplies to help us. Just from across the channel real easily. Ah, here we go. 81%. So 80% is a key level. Why? Because you can see the exact stats on the planes. And now one of the things, if I generally don't do these series kind of for beginners, and I probably should explain more things as I go along. So if you ever have questions, please ask in the comments. But you notice the different variations. So F is the most recent one. Oh no, I took that back. I is the most recent one. So that's the one they're currently producing, most likely, unless they just switched. So it only has 47.5 agility and crazy high reliability. It's not very useful. Air attack is 21.6. So let's compare that to our Spitfire. So the key numbers here are 47.5 for the agility and then 21.6 for the attack. Now, comparing the difference, let's look at our Spitfire Mark II. That Spitfire Mark II agility is 87.7. It's almost double. Now, agility is the stat that makes it more likely you hit the enemy and less likely they hit you. Also, because when you crank up your agility, you're also cranking up your max speed. It means it's easier to catch the enemy and it's harder to catch you. And if I look at the air attack, it's a little bit higher on us, but not much. But part of the reason why these fights are so horribly lopsided and you see like 30 planes getting shot down and me only losing 3 is for that exact reason, where our agility is just way higher than theirs. And that is just completely making the fights lopsided. So the cheapest use of points to make a air superiority fighter better, just dump all of it straight into agility. Okay. Speed things up a little bit. Not much stirring here. As the Battle of Britain rages on. Like I said, the way the Air War is conducting this game, I get it why they do it. It's just not very satisfying, I feel. It's just, hey, dump all your airplanes in a province, you get into a bunch of big air battles with the enemy, and one of you just attritions the living bejesus out of the other one, and then you win that way. I mean, that's really what sums it up. Okay. Did Hong Kong. Singapore strategy. Or we could do landward fortifications. Could do air defenses. You know what? We're going to go the Singapore strategy. So we don't know when the Japanese are coming, but it could be any moment. In fact, let's see if I can see with my spy. Can I see what you're doing? No. Do I know your focus? No. Really? You max out at 77%. Okay, well, if that's the case, go quiet. So, you can see I learn of German units from time to time here. It's mostly because of our radar station here. Gives us a lot of intelligence. And then when it comes time to actually be invading Germany, we'll put over a bunch of recon flights to give us more intelligence. Okay. Things I love. The AI blowing the Suez Canal even when they own it completely. Oh, it's so satisfying to see that complete mistake. Okay. Pull out some more planes to train. It's a little slow there. Oh, that's a perfect count of 100. It's close air support. Okay. Okay. Still shooting down a bunch of bombers there. We're contesting this too. So the one drawback is our planes don't have very good range. I could slam a bunch of points in and upgrade the range, but the more you upgrade the range, you need to keep the reliability somewhat on pace with it, so you don't just completely blow yourself out of reliability. Okay, well, Japan has taken China, so there's the puppet government.
Attention!
There's our overseas British group in India. And you know what? We're even going to put India under a separate command.
Attention!
Just so we can keep a track better.
Fall in!
So who's going to be in charge of India command under the orange color? It is going to be... Drumroll, please. Claude Auchinleck. I feel like he got shipped to India at some point. I could be wrong, but we're sticking with Claude Auchinleck. Okay. And then, of course, I could be flooding troops to here because I know Japan's going to be coming soon. Once again, I don't do that because I'm not going to play that way.
Ready, sir!
And we'll probably need to send a few armored divisions to India, though. Go deal with the Japanese. Okay, machine-assisted encryption. Yeah, just keep going with more decryption. Look at that. I'm going to get through the Italian one real quick, and then we can work on the Japanese encryption. Guess we could put up some plane cover over Greece. Take that back. You don't have any airfields. Oh yeah, you lost your airfield right there. Only airfield you do have is on Crete. Nah, we'll pass. Okay, another 100 fighters start training. See, when you're spitting out fighters this quickly, you are constantly raising new groups. I mean, remember, we're currently making 15 Spitfires a day. 15. So, we'll take a look and see how Germany's plane numbers are doing. Of course, our big objective is to keep them down. And look at that. Germany used to be sitting about 5.2. They're now sitting at 3.6 fighters. So, not as low as we want them, but definitely getting there. In Italy, plane count, 1.5. Great. Russia's plane count, and it's very unknown. We'll see if they can handle the Germans or not. But one of the advantages of making strat bombers is you can force them to keep fighting you, or they just get bombed to smithereens. So, because of that, we're going to start going for some strat bombers. I'm trying to remember what year the Dieppe raid was. I think it was 42. I'm planning on probably doing some version of the Dieppe raid, and if Germany doesn't respond, we may expand it. Taking a look. Honestly, we're probably okay here. Get some more strat bombers. Need to upgrade them, but main reason for strat bombers, they're just the all-around jack of all trades bombers. Of course, close air support, you know, in Europe is way better for bombing. But once you need to really worry about range, like in India and places like that, you just got to be using TACs. Or being willing to commit lots of points to upgrade the bombers, or the close air support's range. Use of gentlemen. We get Alan Turing, interesting, or we can get one more operative slot. Or Royal Artillery, researched faster. Let's go get some Royal Artillery. Okay, 4 Italian destroyers down. That's a nice pickup. Shoot down Italian naval bombers. Trading from the US. Okay, you guys are fully built up. We're going to transfer you over here to Singapore. Don't think we actually have much over there. So, we'll send a few squadrons. Ooh, and you keep you guys training. Okay, those armored divisions are training up quite well. It's decently expensive to train up units like this, but when you get the extra 25% punch from being a regular, it's worth it. Just as a reminder, if you're a raw recruit, it's a minus 25% to all your combat stats. Oh. United States just declared war on the Philippines. Here we go. Time to invite Big Daddy US to the faction. Oh, yes. Okay, a little bit early. We're going to put it down to speed 2 for now. And yeah. So we're going to get a little convoy raiding. South China Sea. And you know what? Let's get some patrolling out there. And the U.S. You have nearly supplanted me. But you are not the leader of this faction yet, for I am. Okay. You transfer to Singapore, honestly. Well, you guys have transferred to Singapore. That's the other thing, too, in this game. You can just magically transfer planes over great distances, and they just, like, fly automatically there. Yeah, pro tip, that's not how that happened in real life. Planes used to be, like, disassembled, stuck in a bunch of crates, stuck on a boat, and shipped over there. So, I get, and once again, you know, that's a game decision from Paradox to do that, because frankly, you know, making planes travel by oceans probably more pain in the butt than it's worth. But definitely not historical for getting planes to places like Singapore. Because if you look at the stats, just from battles and things like that, of how much aircraft's actually at like Clark Field when the Americans were being invaded in the Philippines, or, you know, in the defense of Singapore and things like that, it's not that much. And that's just because it's so hard to get the planes over there. It's not like those countries didn't have a bunch of planes. They do. Okay. Let's think on this. We're got a spare factory. Just because we're gonna need so much of them. Let's get that going. The other issue with this game is that if you lose Singapore or lose all of the Dutch East Indies here and British Malaya, which they basically did, which they did historically to Japan, there's no rubber in the game and you're dead meat as the allies. Just because if you have line shortages of no rubber, you're just cooked. You're not making planes, nothing. So, South China Sea. Mariana region. They're going after Guam. Oh, yes. Very good job, Japan. Naval penalty, minus 99%. What are they trying to invade with? Trying to invade with cavalry divisions. Yes, amphibious cavalry divisions. Thank you, AI. That is genius. Okay. We'll keep it speed 2 for now. Okay, you're fine, you're fine. Can't build any in India. You know what? I should build one in British Malaya. Sending our fleet out and looking for them. Okay, Japanese troops are coming short in the Philippines. And now we are go, go, go. We can move units. In fact, let's check India. Ah, beautiful defense, India. You got nothing on your border. What the actual hell? Okay, now you're redeploying guys over there. That's great. I will also redeploy my guys over there. But let's start with what? Dhaka.
Move out!
Another pro tip. See this area right here with the mouse I'm looking at? Kashmir into Yarkand. Yeah, that touches China. So if Japan capitulates China, you actually have to hold this. Otherwise, they're going to come into the north part of India. Okay, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to send some reinforcements over to India.
Ready, sir!
And
Yes, sir!
congratulations, Cunningham. You're
Orders!
actually going to give your guys over here.
Come on!
And Campbell. So one of the things to be safe, it's going to take more time, but we're going to send our troops to South Africa first to force our troops not to go through the Mediterranean.
Ready, sir!
There's just too many issues. You know, let's face it, if you're floating tank divisions through the Mediterranean and you start getting bombings, I mean, just with a simple bomb, one convoy going down, you can lose hundreds of pieces, basically, of tanks if you're not careful. You know, if some bombers catch your convoys. And we're not interested in letting that happen, so our guys will be taking the long way. And Hong Kong. Fall of Hong Kong. Even forgot to check it. So, historically, Hong Kong went down, and sure enough, it did. So here's our fleet going after the Japanese. Oh, in fact, we mixed it up and got some of their troop convoys. Wow, that's pretty impressive. And we've got our fleet there. Some enemy supremacy there.
Listen up.
Holding there. Looking for other things we can send now. So, of course, with Japan entering the war early, the United States entered the war early. So, here they are.
Come on.
You know what? We're going to take a look. See if we can make any sort of advancement. We're going to stop our troops. Probably throw a few more planes into the Middle East. Like these guys. Things with good range. It's Egypt. Oh, you're still traveling to Singapore. Okay. So, the Japanese invasion begins.
Orders.
We're holding our line here, and they'll likely try to naval invade and outflank us, but we'll see. Oh yeah. Guess those guys were not in the Japanese-British War. Although I think I just summoned the Raj to war too quickly, and now they're going to start getting invaded. I don't know. We'll see. That's a lot of states over there. Let's take a look. Yeah, no room over there. Do those. Do some in Kuwait. Oh, we can load factories on random islands in the Pacific. Milan's under our direct control. You're actually under our direct control also. Yeah, as the British, you just completely run out of slots to build. Okay. Looking, is there anywhere else? Nope. We're going to be down to building it. Oh, I take that back. There, there, there. Yeah. I guess I'll put one even on Malta. Why not? Okay, don't have the Terrapin yet. Don't have any of those yet. Okay. So like I said, once we do the next tank, we'll be making our various designs off that. The self-propelled gun design and the... Oh, lost a British sub. Yeah, you guys need to get out of there. So one of the big things with Radar 2 is it goes off the level of... Well, let me rephrase that. The way Radar... you guys can... Nah, training days are over. Everyone's done training. Boop, boop. The way radar works when you construct it, it's not based off your technology level. If you're building in your puppets, it is the puppets level that matters of the tech. So I can only build one here because British Malaya has only researched tier 1 radar. So I guess the Japanese weren't ready for the attack either. Yeah, look at this. You want to come down here and hold Burma this far down? Lord.
Listen up.
Okay. So where's our defensive position going to be?
Move out.
How about not losing that airfield? Okay. And let's see if we got some planes to commit over there. We do not currently. We will eventually, though. So the Japanese Pacific War will obviously keep us busy for quite a bit, and the continuing battle of Britain will keep us busy there until Germany goes after Russia. At that point, we will be able to make our move. Oh, this sunken American convoy. Actually, I think it was Filipino. So the Japanese seem to have a solid naval assault here. They should be taking the Philippines in quick order. You know what? I was sitting on this waiting to do just a bunch of mechanized troops, but given our position in East Asia, we should probably just do a bunch of normal foot infantry divisions to send over there to help.
Attention. Orders.
Okay. Oh, the Raj actually was not in that war. Interesting.
Fall in.
Well, that's a Japanese light tank division. Interesting. Two German U-boats decided to go into the Med. That was 5 Italian subs down also. They're pushing. See, this is one of the weirdest things ever. This tile actually touches Athens. It's hard to see, and I hate when they do that in this game, because you can trick yourself by just thinking, oh, Athens is covered in the front, I don't need to leave a unit in Athens proper. Nope, you do. You definitely do. Okay. Got lots of those, so we're set up once we get the army experience to design those divisions. We will need some better light tanks for recon, but probably not right now. Got lots of tanks in reserve. Let's take a look. Is there anything I'm missing, really? No. Plenty of support equipment. To tank guns, we're just going to use tank destroyers. Well. Is the Terrapin done? No, the Terrapin's not done. Terrapin's what I need, though. You know what? Let's do some better small arms for now. Why not?
Orders.
And here you are. Your planning's still going. Okay. Respect that. We lost 2 British subs for 3 Japanese convoys.
Attention!
So we'll need to dig in at some point. Holding this far out is probably going to be an issue, just because the Japanese can run circles around us once we fall back closer. Yeah, we'll need to send some troops over there. So here's an example of something we're going to see. We're going to duplicate. And instead of paratroopers, we're going to switch you up. We've not researched Mountaineers. I was going to make some Gurkha divisions. That does not work. Okay. So much for that plan. So if you don't know, Gurkhas were Indian soldiers that were highly trained. I think they were mostly Sikhs, if memory serves me correctly. Sikhs is the religion, Punjabi is the culture, generally associated with Sikhs, but it's not always a one-to-one. We've got a small fleet fight here with our heavy battleships with a bunch of Japanese heavy cruisers. Actually, it's against Yamamoto too, so let's see how John Tovey does. This is the HMS Ark Royal here. We've lost one destroyer. They're falling back. Look at all the whoop whoop sirens. Keiko down from HMS Ramillies. Okay, it looks like it's a mostly even trade. Okay. Heavy cruisers are running. Okay, still not a bad. Oh my goodness. They just savaged our count though. You know why? It's red air under the Sea of China. Okay. There's the main Japanese battle fleet right there. So we're going to reconsider our life and go under our own air cover before we die. Yeah. Okay, because you saw all of the carrier aircraft just get completely annihilated. Because I don't have air cover there. And you know what? Speaking of no air cover. There's that. There you go. Two German subs down. So actually, let's take a look at the Japanese Navy. And then we'll probably end the video here, because it's about right time-wise. Japanese Navy. 100% intelligence. How delightful. So, by comparison, we're at 393 ships, but most of those are destroyers. The Japanese Navy is 302 ships, about 66 subs, okay, 24 light cruisers, 22 heavy cruisers, that's a good amount, 173 destroyers, 8 carriers, okay? 6 battleships, 3 battle cruisers. It's like the United States. The United States only has about 40 more ships. They have 6 carriers, okay? So the United States carrier count's down by 2 against the Japanese. And 15 battleships versus less battleships. Of course, the Japanese have a bunch of heavy cruisers, 22. The United States only has 18. They have a few less destroyers, and all the destroyers are tier 1s. So very interesting. So we'll see how the naval fight goes. It is not predetermined that Japan's going to lose. Certainly, things are against it. And yeah, that totally wiped out our air. We've got enough there, though. Okay. Okay, you know, we're done with that event for now. Okay, so Vickers Wellington. We could start producing them, but realistically, we just want to go for the Beaufort. Why? Because we could take the 2 hits of productivity loss there. Actually, is it worth it? What's your range? Cool. Might be worth it. I'm going to go for the Beaufort immediately. You know what? You don't even have that much. So we'll upgrade, take the hit. And we're going to take another hit in short order, but those convoys are down. So we want to make sure we burn our 100% tech speed increase there, so then we can start doing those without using it. In fact, speaking of Germany, have they even bothered with the Focke-Wulf yet? I don't see it. Germany's now down to about 2.8k fighters. By comparison, I'm sitting at 4.6, so basically the tables have completely turned. Okay, but I take that back, because in that stack you can see 21 Focke-Wulf FW-190s. Thus, they have started to produce Focke-Wulfs. And we can recruit a new agent. Okay, we could get a Greek guy. Meh. Could do an Indian gal. Or another Free French. You know what? We're going to go with Free France, and here's why. So we can look at Pas-de-Calais. From Odette Sampson. Let's take a look at South Africa, see if those troops have arrived. They have not.
Yes, sir.
Still have a ways to go on their voyage. And all the Belgians that are flooding into Africa here. We do have Green Air now, getting a little bit of ground support. It's not looking good for the Philippines, of course. Also not particularly looking good up here either. Got some tanks rolling. So, let's raise. When in doubt, raise some more fighters. Take a look. Unread battle results. Nope. Okay. Singapore strategy is done. What's our next? Landward fortifications in Singapore and Peninsula War. Hey, let's keep it going. Yep. Don't control Hong Kong. Can't do those. And I just realized I should have been using some of those for the tech bonuses. You're the first one. Okay, so hold on. Coastal Command. Naval Bomber and Close Air Support. You're for Strategic Attacks. Okay, that's fine. I've not wasted any of those yet. That is a good one, though, I should consider.
Orders.
Okay. And you know what? Here we go. We'll give it a whirl. Although, I need a battleship for short bombardment purposes. So let's find that fleet. Oh, that's your problem. Okay, now you've got an actual... that, and let's take 4 old destroyers. Alright, Rodney. Oh, Rodney. Your days of doing that are over. Cunningham's nearly leveled up. Not quite. That's a good point. Let's check to see if any of our naval commanders are leveled up. I just kind of took it for granted. Somerville. No. Close. Fraser. Nothing particularly good there. Tovey. No. Or the Fleet Bombardment Group. Okay. So, basic game plan. See if we can break through their line and encircle.
Ready.
Can we? I don't know. We'll find out. So, because you're the quick attack, you can say punch through. So 80%. Oh, you know what? Okay. We're going to fix that. So it's not like in our supply situation there. So we're going to bring in our supply planes. Okay. You're here. You run an air supply. We're here. So they're not able to pierce. No, one of them can pierce. So, ironically, it's not even the medium tank division that can pierce. Its piercing is only 9. Okay, that must be just a bunch of Panzer IVs in there. Okay. So I think we're good on our assault here. Ah, you were sick.
Pushing them back, sir.
That's disappointing. How many more days? 6 days. Well, we'll keep it going.
Listen up.
Take a look. We're holding the river line here. You've come across there. Holding that.
Orders.
Most importantly, our guys just can dig in.
Ready.
So let's check the fleet over here. Yeah. Starts Malacca. And better yet, put 2 sets of fighters over it, so I don't have to worry about getting smacked around. You guys are okay. Looking for the breach. The Panzer Lair Division. That's a late war name. Interesting. They're doing a lot of damage on the air. So we need to get some more fighters over there. So look at that. They actually out-damaged us with their support planes.
Ready.
So we're going to get rid of the lines here.
Let's go.
Yeah, their bombing is doing wonders. Okay, so we're going to have to fall back. Fall of Manila. We just got a Luxembourg exile leader. We're saved. Now the technological and military prowess of Luxembourg. And this video's gone way over. I'll see you in the next one.